What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? One Eyebrow back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 3, review and discussion. So obviously, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the episode, you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to know this information, stop watching now. But for those who want to know and want to talk about it, here we go. There we go, guys. Episode 803 in the books. Thought it was very good. I continue to say that Season 8 is getting better and better and better after each episode, and I think I agree with it still after watching this. Bye-bye, Morales. You were here. Now you're gone. That's what they wanted to do for some reason. They brought him back. We found out that was a loose end, and you know how we feel about loose ends, guys. So he pointed a gun at Rick. Morales, we got some of his backstory. It was kind of good to know, but he's Negan now. He was a savior. He wasn't going to come help Rick, evidently. I guess we'll never know, because before Rick could help him out or they could switch sides, Daryl put an arrow in his head. So he's gone, and Daryl is not messing around. We definitely saw that in this episode. So what do you think of that, guys? Post your comments below. And let me know what you thought of episode 803. I thought it was very good. The gunfights, the action, the battles, pretty cool stuff. It's starting to come together this season, that's for sure. Daryl and Rick were in a precarious situation, but they got out of it. Then Aaron and Tobin and Scott and everything made it out, but we had some casualties. You know, we'll talk about that in a second. But Rick and Daryl made it out alive, of course. And to me, it's always good to see Rick and Daryl fighting it up and working together. Ezekiel, the Kingdomers. What I did notice about the Kingdom group is that they're a hodgepodge group, and they were doing good fighting the Saviors until the very end, of course, but I think we're going to have some casualties in next week's episode. We'll talk about that at the very end, but the Kingdomers, they were doing well, taking out some of the Saviors. Jerry needed some reassurance from Carol and Ezekiel's like the king of pep talks. He's like, we can do it. Smiles. I got smiles. Carol still smiles. We're going to have one battle and two battles, and we're going to win, and we're going to win 1 and 2 and 3. We're going to keep winning, and we're going to keep going. And the Kingdomers are buying into it. But eventually it's going to bite them in the butt, as we saw at the very end of the episode, probably going to carry into episode 804. But Jerry was cool. They were cool. They were doing their thing. And I like that whole idea of Carol and Ezekiel working together. I don't know if they're going to be a romance like Michonne and Ezekiel from the comics. Only time will tell. But Ezekiel is a pep talker, man. He can make you want to run through a wall and do stuff there. He's motivating everybody, and like I said, they were doing well. They have some tactics. Carol is with them, and it was pretty good and was working out to the very end. But they didn't see the big 50 cal in the tower up at the top at the outpost. So we'll see how that is, the casualties, who actually doesn't make it out in next week's episode. But Ezekiel did pretty well. And then we have Tara, Morgan, Jesus, Diane, the Hilltop people, the Kingdomers. They're taking the Saviors back to the Hilltop for some reason. Jesus wants to do that. I think he just wants to do it. He's the only one, because when they took him back to the Hilltop, Maggie didn't really want him in. Gregory didn't really want him in. And it was just, what are you doing, Jesus? And that was conflicting sides, and that was what the big fight was about, that we're definitely going to talk about. So the fight was pretty awesome. Again, Jared, every time he's in the scope of getting killed by Morgan, Jesus gets in the way, or something gets in the way. Eventually, Jesus isn't going to be around, and Jared needs to go. He needs to go quick. I can't wait for that to happen, but it's just frustrating that it's still not happening. It's going to be rewarding, but it's going to be maybe too late if it ever happens, right? But I think it will. The walkers come rolling down the hill. That was almost comical, how they were just rolling down and then getting up and walking over to them. And the way these saviors were running away from Morgan as they were all tied up and they were still moving pretty good was like, come on, Morgan, catch up with them. Jesus takes out some of the walkers, and Morgan only killed, what, 2 saviors? We're like, man, we need more than that. But Morgan is not right. Even though he's not right, he's not wrong. And Tara is on Morgan's side. So it's Tara and Morgan versus the Jesus mindset. So which side are you on? I mean, you got to be on Morgan's side, right? But you got to feel for Jesus and what they're trying to do. I'm glad Morgan did not get bit right here. He went off on his own and he left. But let's talk about the fight. Now, it was clearly a fight between Jesus and Morgan. Now we know that. We weren't sure if it was a fight or a sparring match or what. But there's two different sides to it. Morgan wants to kill everybody and Jesus wants to save them because he's like, we're going to have to work with these people afterwards. And I can see that, but how can you trust them afterwards? Like, Morgan's bringing up good points and you can kind of see Jesus's side, but you're like, come on, man, this doesn't make sense. You can't have all these people. All these people aren't going to be good people. And just the fight between them was pretty good. I thought the choreography was awesome. I thought the fighting was like realistic, you know? Jesus definitely won. And he was like, are you done yet? Come on, are you done? And that had to be frustrating for Morgan because Morgan probably feels like he's a pretty good fighter. And Jesus just really handled it to him without a weapon, without anything. And here was a close call, but you can't have Jesus die. I don't think he'll ever die, actually. I think he'll be one of those characters that makes it to the very end. He's an awesome character, and hopefully he turns it around this season. The gunfight kept going into this episode with all the gunfire and no one reloading. It's almost comical, but that finally got done at the very end of the episode. Losing Eric, I felt it was going to come. I wasn't surprised by it, and I felt bad for him. The only thing that was kind of comical was that Aaron looked on the back of Eric for the exit wound. Well, he got shot from the back to the front, so the exit wound would actually be in the front of his body, not the back. So, but it was just like, come on, dude, you should know that. But either way, I feel bad for Aaron and Eric, and it's had to happen to build up the Aaron character, the storyline. Eric is gone. It was just sad because that's what they do, though. The show loves to be like, oh, I started to like Eric a little bit more. He was fighting, he was doing big things, he was doing good. Boom, gone. They did that with Denise. They did that with a couple characters. I feel bad for Aaron. He lost Eric. We'll see how it is down the road of the series if he gets with another gay character on the show. Here we go with Gracie. Gracie is alive, well, going to the hilltop where she'll be safe. Maybe she gets taken in by someone and maybe we never see her again. I don't know, but she's safe and sound. I didn't see the bunny, though. I just saw the baby. So, you know, the talk with the bunny going on with the Judith Gracie theory. So we'll see if that ever comes back around of that bunny. And to continue the frustrating ways of the Walking Dead writing for this season is Gregory comes back, you let him in. It was like, oh, mercy, show mercy. So it's about mercy and morals and this. And you're like, come on, dude, what are you doing? But either way, Gregory's back around. If you know the comics, you know Gregory's going to be around for a little while longer. It's just annoying because the character is just an annoying piece of work that is frustrating, and it's time for him to go. Maggie is clearly the leader of the hilltop. You know, it was kind of funny with Cal when he was like, dude, come on, with the sorghum pancakes. It was pretty funny. The little comic relief there too. The other thing was Minkus, man. He was the last one talking with Rick at the very end when he shot at the truck, and Rick talked with him and he gave the news that Gavin's outpost had the 50 cal, and then Daryl takes him out. Daryl's just not playing around. He's not playing around. Morgan's not playing around. Tara wants to not play around, but she just isn't doing any action. She's just expressing her views and saying that she wants to take people out, but she's not doing it. I thought Carol and Ezekiel, and they had good plans and they were working on the outpost, but that's part of the story with Ezekiel, is that they did well at the outpost, but then they end up losing a lot of people. We know this is Saviors now. In the trailer, we weren't sure if this was Kingdom people or Hilltop or Alexandrians, but that was with the last outpost where they were at. Daniel Newman, I don't know if he's going to make it out. I believe he was one of the people that dove on Ezekiel to protect him. He probably is going to die. He was one of my predictions as well. There's the 50 cal, the Browning, machine gun, basically, that it's from that outpost. It's in the White Tower. You might have missed it there too, but that's what took a lot of those Kingdom people out. And it was like, took them all down, and that's what the big weapon that's going to be in next week's episode. Morales is gone. He came and went very quick. Now Morales is gone. We don't have to worry about him showing up. We got a little bit of the backstory before Daryl took him out. Daryl's not messing around. I kind of would have liked to see Morales be around a little bit longer to find out if he can switch sides, or he eventually had to die, you know that. But overall, I thought the episode was very good. How about you? Post your comments below. If you guys can, we got a giveaway coming out when we hit 50,000 subscribers. We just hit 40,000. So to be eligible, you want to join the Walking Dead community Facebook page and group. It's a page and a group. To be eligible, you got to be a member of that. Also, give me a follow on Instagram. At Twitter as well, but on Instagram, my book series, Fight for Us. You don't have to buy the books to be eligible for the giveaway, but it's a good series. Everyone that's reading them is excited about it. I'm excited about it. It's doing very well. Fight for Us, books 1, 2, and 3 available now. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Kindle version. And here's book 4 that I'm currently writing right now. And if you can, guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. You guys are awesome. And we got a goal of 100,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching, and post your comments below, guys.